Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and we're doing a nice little time-lapse build of a nice base building, and it is of the Cyclops, if you haven't figured it out by the big whopping submarine on the screen. Before I go any further, I'm not paying attention to how many resources I'm using. If you saw my base in the actual survival part of Subnautica, you can tell I don't care about it. I'm making a big, awesome base, and it is a pain in the butt. But essentially, I'm making the Cyclops workable and livable. And then I'm going to make a nice little docking station, since I'm pretty sure if you built a power cell charger, it's going to charge those power cells by draining the other power cells. So I put some lockers in, I lined them up with the little sections on the floor, and now I'm adding some potted plants for color. Pretty much this area was already designated for storage, so I'm just adding to that, making sure there's plenty of storage when you go out salvaging and whatnot. In the upper part, there's like those three sections. There's the cab, then there's a little empty room there, and then there's the part where you get out when you dock your prawn suit, or, well, pretty much the only thing you're putting in here is a prawn suit. But the little sea glide in case you do that. The little room back here, I'm making more of a bedroom and a workspace. And yes, I realize the workspace has no workability. It's more of a just decoration type bit. Which is important. I mean, you're stranded here by yourself. You want to have a nice little livable area. So I'm making like a nice little computer desk area. A little chair to sit in, which for some reason you can't sit in because, I don't know, your character model's too fat or something. I don't know. Plenty of room there, but game doesn't want to let me sit there, so that's a sad face. Now I'm working on the picture frame, which I'm like, if I take screenshots, I can put it up there. So I take a screenshot of that little, well, you can see the screenshot now. Just kind of make it look like a computer, so you have your workspace, little desktop. And to work on the bedroom here a little bit more, I want to add a shelf, something where you can store your personal items that you salvage, like that little cute dragon plushie, the hat, or the Aurora model that you find in the captain's quarters. Coming up to the front here, I'm thinking, okay, this is typically meant to have three people, so we have like one guy monitoring sonar or something, another guy monitoring the ship itself, and then the captain who's driving it, which I wanted to give them a seat, but there's no really functional way to put the chair in there. I put one off to the side, but I don't like the fact that it's straight or mean, and I'm like, he's going to be driving, he's going to be standing at the helm, so that chair's going to be pointless in the end anyways. So after running through some quick things, I decided to add the radio, because, again, it's the work area. I want to see if I can place it on the ceiling of the glass. That'd be neat. So I get rid of that chair, and since pretty much the crew is going to be in here when they're driving, in case of emergencies, nice little health pack. Moving on next, I'm just adding a nice little potted plant to the leisure area. And now we're getting more into the work area, which it's pretty much just going to be where all the building and all the other major job stuff is going to be happening. I kind of want to see if I can place some other stuff in here, like a bioreactor, and see where the limits on what you can build in here are. Sadly, you can't do the bioreactor, but still, the crew is going to need food to eat, especially if you're in the survival part where you need to eat and drink. And since it's a work area, I'm adding the fabricators and the upgrade station. And this is where I decided to go against the power cell charger, and I go for the battery charger. Figured that could kind of be used as the worst case scenario. And since it's a work area, you don't want to be carrying all your stuff around. You could put your supplies in here, like your O2 tanks and little tools and whatnot. You don't have to put them downstairs for storage. Or maybe your more important items that you use, like the lithium and copper and wiring kits. I was figuring out where I could put a nice little counter. I decided right behind the hatch. So I moved the guard and ended up placing that back. I just had to fix it. It seemed a little off to me. Same thing with the counter. I'm about to fix that again. And for those little sciencey bits you can find in the Aurora, that'd be a cute place for them. You can just place them on there and you have a nice little workspace. Of course, with all the work and stuff, you have to have trash. And now I'm just kind of jumping through trying to figure out what else I can add to make it feel more homey and nice. I think I settle on some shelves next. Nope, I do the little tank here, which I'm like, you could keep it, maybe grow fish or study or something. I decided to put it down here on the tail where pretty much, unless it's on fire, you're not going to go. You can still walk by it and stuff, and it looks neat, and I think it's a nice little area for it. Past the storage, and I feel this room's empty. I'm like, no flower pots. When I'm done from swimming and dodging leviathans and worse, warpers and stuff, I'm going to want a cup of coffee. So, it doesn't interfere with anything. I've actually tested out one of the chairs off camera, and if you sit in it, where your character model is and the Cyclops is, it ends up flying. It's not pretty, and it does cause damage. Having the wall growth beds, even though they have no purpose, I thought it would be nice to add some greenery. And I'm doing another potted plant back here. Pretty much nice amount of room for stuff growing, and I'm just cycling through items again. And these shelves end up getting moved up in a second. They're a little too low, and the character model walks into them, and it doesn't work nice. And one of the issues I've noticed while building in here is you're standing still, but the Cyclops isn't. It's kind of rocking and leaning and stuff. The current's carrying it or something. You can see a little bit more due to the time-lapse speed instead of the normal gameplay. But it does make difficult for making sure everything's even and nice. I wanted to see if I could place a searchlight on the outside. Don't judge. You tried something like this too, I'm sure of it. But can't place anything on the outside. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, Cyclops is done for the most part. Oh, how pretty on the inside. We need to figure out how to, charge this thing up. So I'm going to be jumping down in there a little bit after I admire the fish. I just have a few more changes I'm making. But I'm going to make like a little docking station for it, since you don't exactly have a moon pool bay for a Cyclops. So I'm deciding to build one of my own. So move those shelves up so that way they're not a collision for you, and you can still put stuff on there, admire them. Have a nice little chips thing, and it's more of a rec area and workspace. You have a nice place where one crewman can sleep while the other two work. And I just moved the Cyclops down to the ground level more, where I'm going to make more of I want to call it a dry dock or wet dock or whatever dock. Well, wet dock. I can't actually drain all the water and make it a dry dock. So I'm making a nice little platform where it can sit over, since you can't exactly park the thing. And that way you can walk out, do repairs and stuff. If you have the prawn suit, you can take that out and then load it up. And I'm definitely going to be adding more to this base to make it a complete base. I just kind of wanted to do a quick, neat little build for it. So I tried to do the frame. I did the little platforms as best I could. Adds nice security to the whole integrity of your base, and it's a nice area where you can park your Cyclops. One thing I thought would be neat is I'm just doing this little single straight tube straight down, and that's going to give you quick access and stuff in and out of the base and to the Cyclops. And again, I'm not paying attention for resources. So we have a nice little area where you can park the Cyclops. And now try and make some sort of living quarters. Adding a door. And doing pretty much periodically. I add a few more towards the end. I just kind of want to decorate the tube up. It's more of a work tunnel and entrance than anything else. I do add windows to the top on every other little tube here. That way you can see out, you have some natural lighting and stuff, and it's nice and pretty. One thing I am going to mention is this whole build here is fueled by a bioreactor, but since one, I'm in survival, and two, I really don't feel like doing anything, hunting down for the supplies, I'm going to be using solar panels on the roof, just for the lighting purposes of this. Pretty much I only use the bioreactor, and you'll see how I set that up. I was thinking of adding the moon pool, but I decided against it. Just do a simple, quick little, Cyclops substation. Even if you can call that quick and simple. I already know the resource limit on titanium alone is through the roof, not to mention how much quartz and lithium that has been used. So here I am adding the solar panels. That we have the two rooms here, one's for like sleeping, the other one's for work, similar to what we did in the Cyclops. And then we have the third little pod there, which is going to be the little bioreactor room, where we grow the fuel and all that happy stuff. Let's jump over and actually find the bioreactor. I'm going to add that in right now. And since it runs off of living matter, why not just put into your growth beds? You can grow some melons or potatoes or whatever Subnautica has to offer for food, instead of having to hunt down little fishies. And this room down here, as I mentioned earlier, is more of a workspace, so not all the walls are going to be getting windows. And I recommend the hull reinforcements, as I'm putting in now. There's definitely plenty of spots where you can sneak those guys in. And this is where I found out something neat that makes me feel not intelligent. I thought the ladders could only be placed in the center. You can actually place them on one of the 4 walls. Up here is more of a leisure space where you can sit back and relax after piloting. So, kind of make it pretty so you can see all around. And now to start adding the nice little bedroom details. A nice little aquarium for you to look at and admire the fishies. Nice little pets relaxing stuff. Since this is a place where you can sit back and relax, a nice little double bed there. You know, maybe 2 crew members can sleep there. Third one in the Cyclops, or if you have issues sharing a bed, just take turns, rotate, and you have a nice little table where you can sit down, eat, play cards. Hopefully, someone grabbed their deck of cards before the Aurora, I think is the name of the ship, crashed. I was about to say Sunbeam, which I believe that's the other one. Spoilers. So, adding little plants and stuff to make it nice and happy, warm, comfy. Nice little potted plant. And that's pretty much it for the leisure space. There's not much that can be going on. Now to go all out for a nice little work area where, again, similar to doing the benches for the sciencey equipment, but it's going more like this is more research and development than the quick stuff on the Cyclops. And I was hoping to kind of fidget one of those shelves in place to kind of cover up that gap like you could do in Fallout 4 with some of the items, but it's not going to work. Since this is meant to house the Cyclops, better have somebody to charge the Cyclops, so I put down 3 power cell chargers and then a little battery one, which these can be, I figured could be used more than the battery charger on the Cyclops itself, because I'm not 100% sure. If I'm wrong, just mention it down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure if you use a power charger in the Cyclops, it's going to drain the power cells. I was hoping to get another locker there to match up with the other one, but it's not working, so I'm like, okay, let's take health into consideration, put 2 health things down. So you have a nice little locker where you can store your equipment, that way you don't have to carry it around. Nice little leisure space up here, which you can't sleep. And then we have the hallway, which we can walk down and access the Cyclops. One thing I just want to mention is there's plenty of room where you can add in some hull reinforcements. I mentioned that before. The long down tube here on this backside here, since it's a hill, windows wouldn't work, so why not just place reinforcement there to make hull integrity nice. And to finish off the bioreactor room, it's supposed to be decomposing like living organisms, like fish and plants and stuff, so why not make it a little green? And that's pretty much it for this base. And that's going to be it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Sergeant Alex, and I hope you have a nice day.